Okay, good morning, everyone. Just welcome to our virtual roundtable, Unbox with MACS. We'll focus this very short session around the migration to MAS, Maximo Application Suite, and of course the journey to asset lifecycle management. I know that's quite a mouthful, so we will refer to ALM going forward. Okay, so very relevant to any asset-intensive organizations who are currently using or thinking of using Maximo, and allow them to make some informed decisions about their future operations. So my name is Niels van der Zijl, and I'll be your host. And with me is Kylie Jones, leading the sustainability unit at IBM. And I'll move over to Kylie shortly. So just a quick few words about MACS. We're a leading provider of asset lifecycle management, ALM solutions, empowering asset-intensive organizations to maximize their operational efficiency and environmental impact. Our usual kind of holistic approach ensures clients not only achieve optimal decision-making, but also meet their ESG goals. And probably for over kind of 30 years-ish, MACS have delivered impactful digital transformation across multiple sectors, but probably most notable government, defense, energy utilities, manufacturing, travel and transport, healthcare.
So Niels, what sets you apart from other business partners in the market?
Thank you. So yeah, three things that set us apart from other players. The fact that we are the only IBM business partner that does end-to-end ALM. So Maximo for EAM, Tariga for IWMS, and Envisi from an environmental, social, and governance perspective. And we've been doing this. This is not just a strapline. We've been doing this with customers for some time. Secondly, we are the trusted partner of the government. 86% of our delivery team is actually security cleared, which is a phenomenal high percentage. And lastly, we're very agile. I think we're very humble as an organization, and we're completely financially independent. So we've got no debt, and we're privately owned. So let me ask you a question, Kylie.
Yeah.
Hopefully most people are already aware there's a major event taking place in September 25 when Maximo 7.6 becomes end of life. But Kylie, obviously IBM has got a fabulous vision.
Mm-hmm.
Why this change, and how is Maximo going to evolve in the future of enterprise asset management?
Thanks, Niels. Well, in order for Maximo to continue to grow and be relevant to our global client base, we've created a platform that will be the foundation for Maximo into the future. This new foundation enabled us to host the Maximo Application Suite that's now made up of the foundation of the suite, and obviously as part of that you've got your Maximo Manage, your Maximo Health, Predict, Monitor, Assist, and Visual Inspection as well. And this combination just actually wasn't even possible under the old architecture way back, can you believe it, in 2005?
Yeah.
Amazing, isn't it, at that time? But the whole new setup has enabled us to be a lot more creative as well with our licensing, and it's really simplified the licensing model for Maximo, which clients have given us really good feedback about. And that's why we've changed and adopted to the container-based architecture of Maximo Application Suite, and it really future-proofs Maximo going forward, we think.
Wow. Oh, thank you. That's I think the evolution is phenomenal. Like you said, since 2005, and it sounds like to me it's a great opportunity for organizations to transition and modernize and actually take advantage of so many new features. And I think in terms of Max, kind of like really getting value out of Maximo. But help me out here. IBM recently launched MAS 9. What is this all about? And when is MAS 10 coming?
Yeah, that's a good question. So MAS 9 is obviously released at the end of this month. So that's June 2024. So soon now, really soon. So MAS 9 introduces Maximo work order intelligence. So that's powered by What's Next. So we're really excited about that. So it's a huge thing. So yeah, it's going to be fantastic when we see that. In addition to that, we've also introduced 2 new capabilities, which is Maximo Field Service Management, and that's focused on scheduling, dispatch, and also mobile access by some of the field technicians. And also, secondly, the Maximo Emissions Management, and that gives Maximo Manage the ability to capture operations emissions. So, you know, obviously, it might be too early to say when Maximo 10 is coming out. Let's focus on Maximo 9 at the moment. But, you know, if we think about it, Maximo 8, if that's anything to go on, it's had 11 or 12 dot releases. So that's around 28 months. But who knows? You know, it depends what the product team decide.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you, Kylie. That it really does make sense, and especially given that more and more companies are getting under more and more pressure in terms of providing a full transparency, how actually their assets are performing over their life cycle. So I do think it makes a lot of sense. At the same time, though, that we've got complexities coming into the world, and regulation is being enforced, I guess, more and more. I think, you know, if you think about kind of some of the events that recently took place, but also in the past, like Horizon, BP, the Horizon spill, and obviously we've got the Boston Bridge example recently, which are all events that actually could have been prevented with some pure proactive maintenance. But, you know, to give a few of the other members of our team and hand over a little bit the question. So Pete, what do you think, and where do you think people should start in terms of kind of like the migration?
It's all really about data. You know, if you want to go from, unless you've got some Nostradamus type figure, you're not going to be able to predict what's going to happen in the future unless you start to collect the data that you're going to passively collect from just doing the job anyway. And then leveraging that data so you can start to understand patterns in things that are happening. If you start to look at other companies that you know have probably made this transition to big data already, they gobble up anything that they can, right? They're not throwing anything away. And the old way of asset management and asset maintenance really seems to be that we collect all this data almost accidentally just by doing jobs, and then it all goes in the bin. I mean, a bin that no one knows the true position of, they don't know the cubic capacity of, and they don't know how often it's used. So they don't really have the understanding of which bin they're putting it in. But going forward, what we need to do is understand what assets we have, what are the conditions of those assets, what are the triggers that are going to cause failures in those assets, and are any of those triggers happening right now? And the way that we're going to do this, or one way that we can do this, and one thing that's really going to help people to achieve this, is by leveraging all the tools that MAS can give us. You know, everyone wants to talk about the fact that 7.6 is going out of support and things like that, and that's a looming thing that's on the horizon. But in actual fact, it's the opportunity that MAS gives you that people should be focusing on, and that's the transition to reliability-centered maintenance that's going to give us the real business benefit. I mean, you know, manages essentially, you know, 7.6 with some nice bits added on, and it looks much nicer. But you're not just getting that; you're getting so many other elements as well with it. You're going to be able to look at health, and in health, you're going to be able to see the condition of the asset. How is it feeling right now? What position is it in? You're going to be able to then feed that data, that pool of data, with by using Monitor. So we can have sensors out there that are collecting all this information and help us understand what the position of that asset is and where we're at and what's happening at this moment. And then you can use Predict to start to look at, you know, okay, so I'm noticing these patterns. I'm seeing these things occurring. And the last time these 3 things occurred in this order, the asset failed. So now we can start to think, right, well, maybe that's going to happen again. So rather than the old way of saying, okay, I'm going to attend an asset when it's on fire, or I'm going to attend an asset once a year because it happens to be the asset's birthday, I'm going to go, right, these things have occurred to this asset. The temperature has gone above X, the vibration levels have gone above Y. And because I've collected that data and I've utilized those patterns to understand and predict what's going to happen, I can bring that information together and send someone out there to go and get to go and see what's going on with that asset. And if needs be, I can fix it, but not unnecessarily and not too late. And that's the crucial thing. So MAS, the transition to MAS is not something that is a threat that looms. It's an opportunity that people can embrace. And so hopefully people are really hungry to get on that upgrade path. And so maybe we want to start to look about what does the upgrade process look like? How do we get there? And where do we go from here? And I think probably Adriano can help to fill in around that.
Yes, thank you, Pete. I think I would like to continue from what you just said, because for us, the upgrade is not just a technical upgrade. We would like to see the approach to MAS as a journey for the client to move to a different infrastructure, different possibilities and different capabilities within the application suite. But the real focus is transitioning the client from Maximo to Maximo Manage, which is the equivalent within the application suite, with the minimal disruption for them, for the business and for the users. But once they are in the new platform, our aim and our goal is to get them in the right position that can start leveraging on all the capabilities that we were just talking about, because it's not just a Maximo upgrade like it used to be before 7.5 to 7.6. It's just a transformation of the way the Maximo works and the way the Maximo links to the other application in the suite. So there'll be also a journey in reviewing the processes, reviewing the approach, and is a sort of transformation project more than just an upgrade. Okay, because also we can start talking about not just moving the application, but moving everything that is related to the application as well. Yeah. So we're talking about integration, we're talking about all the other environments that the client are already using. There will be new technology to integrate Maximo with other application, and we can also incorporate this into our upgrade approach. So when we're talking about transitioning to application suite and to OpenShift, we're talking about the whole thing, like an holistic approach to everything technological and functional that the client has to use. I don't know, Richard, if you have anything you want to add about integration and about how integration changes.
Yeah, I guess one of the common questions or common concerns that clients may have about the upgrade and the move across to MAS is specifically around integration or around their configuration, and how will that move? Will that work? What's at the other side of the fence, so to speak? So the integration framework remains primarily unchanged. There are some differences around the queue configuration, so it switches away from JMS that we used to, and now sits on Kafka queues. So there will be a little bit of configuration needed to be done in those areas. One of the great things about Maximo in terms of your customer specific configurations is all that configuration is held at the database level. So when we move and upgrade the database into MAS, all those configurations will obviously come across and will upgrade as part of the process. It's not to say you shouldn't go about testing them properly, obviously, but all of that will be managed by the upgrade.
If at the end of this discussion, if I can add some more about the platform, because I was talking about migrating to a different platform, migrating to a different technology. So application suite is based on Red Hat OpenShift, which is based on containers and is based on Linux. So it gives more flexibility and is more lightweight and more manageable, more resilient than the usual virtual machine or virtual machine environment like VMware or a set of virtual machines or cloud environment or even physical servers that we have. So we give the client the ability to scale based on their needs. So when we are talking about migrating and then making the client in a position, taking a client in a position that he can scale and add functionalities is also because of we're moving to OpenShift and to the cloud, where we have possibility to change the configuration, change the capabilities and the computational power, and also leveraging on containers to add environments, add add functionalities to the system very, very quickly, I think, in a quick way.
So, Adriano,
Yes.
So does a client have to install MAS on OpenShift, or is there an option to go with Windows or another type, say Linux infrastructure?
No, it has to be installed on OpenShift. This is where the technology is going at the moment. So containers and containerized application is where the technology is going, not just Maximo, but is where the future of the hosting technology is going.
Yeah,
so VMware virtual machines are less flexible and less configurable and less approachable.
Yeah, it's a choice that's been made, not because someone arbitrarily decided that that's where it's going to be. It has all the benefits that are required for deployments of software of this type. So it gives us all the things that are required for to scale across all the different environments that MAS is used in, both locally in the cloud on premise. It covers all the boxes, it ticks all the boxes across all of those. So and then
is the evolution of the cloud technology that we are embracing, and we make it ready for the future.
Keep mentioning the cloud, but it's important to call that out as well, that it can be installed on.
Can be installed.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, and then there's to move on slightly, there's the concept of licensing, and there are changes that go along with that, touching on app points. If I know a lot of people have got a lot of questions around this. You can't roll over licenses, so licenses that you have on 7.6 aren't going to be just rolled over into the new app point scheme, or rather they are going to be, and the old style of licenses get left behind. But the beauty of these app points is that you can flex them, as you use the system differently, and as you mature and you start to recognize, actually, I'm not just using that core manage base anymore. I do want to get into understanding my asset conditions. I do want to start to feed other streams of data in. And when you realize that, then it may lead to an increase in the number of app points you use. It may well be that actually you can flex from the app points that you're not using or using other spaces already, move those across, and then before you know it, without really doing anything, without having to carry out any further administration on the infrastructure, you've got access to all this extra functionality, which otherwise you wouldn't have. So I think that's a really powerful element of it, is that you're not it's very unrestricted, and you are able to change the way you do business within the auspices of the app points that you've already laid out for yourself.
So Pete, I think we just got a question come in, Kylie.
Yeah, sure. We get asked this a lot, actually. Are there any legacy industry solutions or add-ons that are not currently supported by MAS?
I think if the plan is for all the current industry solution and add-on to be supported on MAS. Some will change with future releases, some will be incorporated into the standard Maximo Manage. For example, mobile and calibration are now part of Maximo Manage. So, the main Maximo solution, but all the current add-on and industry solution will be on MAS, if I'm not already. I think there is a roadmap which are not in front of me at the moment. But I know calibration is also, they're also coming to mobile with within a planned roadmap. I think calibration is coming to mobile with the next version, I believe. So I think, yes.
Yeah, so I think if people are upgrading, I think it is, as you sort of alluded to there are elements of those old industry solutions that have been brought in. And so it's important that people check to make sure, because if they were just using one specific slither of one of the industry solutions and that's now been brought in, they may not need it anymore. And so it's important that they review that. And then also, any configurations they've made on any of the old versions of the industry solutions or add-ons, they're going to need to, have a look at them, test them, make sure they're functioning as they'd expect before they roll out. It's just like any upgrade. It's another upgrade, but it's better because you're getting so much more.
Okay.
Fantastic. Another question that has come in is how about user management? Is different in MAS as opposed to within Maximo? Well, what can you tell me there? I don't know who's best suited to answer that question. Adriano, Richard?
Yes. No, yeah, I can answer this question. So we were talking about the app points. Okay, so the benefit of app points is that the user is a user of the application suite mainly. So when you set up user with access to the application suite, and then the application within the suite, like Maximo Manage, Predict, Monitor, will only be application where the user is assigned to or given access, and start using points based on that. So the big change is you don't have a Maximo Manage user anymore. You have an application suite user with access to different applications, and Maximo Manage is one of them. So the user is managed now at the application suite level, no more at the single application, which gives more flexibility and is easy to manage from a sign-on point of view and authentication, etc.
Okay, that makes sense. Maybe Kylie, we probably have time for one more question.
Yeah, just one that's come in then. So what are the implications of going out of support? Don't know who wants to take that one, Pete or Adriano?
Yeah, I think Pete, if you want to go.
Yeah, absolutely. So effectively, the main implication is that you're not going to receive any sort of future patches or bug fixes. But that's not necessarily the end of the world. You are able to purchase extended support or sustained support, which is going to mean you need to raise it. You're going to be able to raise incidents. You're going to have access to all the old patches and security updates and stuff like that. So if you want to get yourself as I guess up to date as you possibly can, then you are going to still be able to use Maximo 7.6 in the guise that you've had it before. So for some people, that may be enough. So the implications are not that it's gonna switch off on that day. You're not going to be able to touch it anymore or mention it or anything like that. It's it still exists and it will still have its place in the CAFM arena. But I think as I said before, the benefits that you get from going to MAS are so great that doing the extended support, it's a placeholder. And yeah, if your contract's coming to an end and maybe you don't have a need to carry on and transition over, then fine. But if you're looking long term, then staying on 7.6 and thinking, well, we can get by is not the way, because that's not going to help you move into the new space. And it's that's where we're going. That transition is happening right now as we speak, and we really just need a canary in the coal mine to get out there and say, okay, this is what's happening. And when that canary can retire early from the coal mine because they've made so much profit and they've gone to live in a nice house in the south of France, then everyone else will go, well, we would need to get on MAS immediately. And I think that's what will happen. And I think that's where we're going.
And I think there is one more thing about the end of support, because the end of support also means end of security patches.
Yeah.
This means some clients, they have the system under accreditation or under validation. I mean, defense or pharma or other type of companies. This will affect the accreditation or the security of the system. So this is something to take into account.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. Okay, fantastic. Well, thank you. So just to summarize, kind of like the call so far, the end of Maximo 7.6 support is not really a deadline. It's just a great opportunity, as what you've been telling us, to future-proof your asset management strategy as such, and really driving the operational efficiencies and the sustainable practices that come with that, right? I do get that embracing Maximo application suite will keep customers ahead of the curve, leveraging the cutting edge tools that have been developed to stay competitive. That's, to me, it sounds really that in a nutshell. I don't know whether you've got anything to add from your point of view, Kylie. I think it was great to get a perspective from IBM and our great consultants that who kindly have made themselves available to give this perspective. Any last final word?
Say how many skills you have as a partner. It's incredible when we're in a room of people with such huge amount of skills and who've worked in the area for so long. It's always exciting to work with clients with you.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, we're running out of time, so you know where to find us. We really look forward working with you. Any questions, reach out. We're always here to help. Thank you for your time today, and we hope to see you soon at the next Unbox with Max session. See you soon. Take care.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.